Welcome, family, once again to another video. Before I get to the video, I just want to say I was pleasantly surprised that when I went on my page, I actually got some new subscribers, and I really appreciate that, though. But I've got to emphasize that, it's not about how many views I get. It's not about how many subscribers I get. That don't mean anything to me. It's about the message. That I really appreciate. The views mean more to me than the subscribers do, because that just lets me know that there is some people that's out here, listening, what a brother got to say, the OG, out of Gary, Indiana. GI, baby. All right, now let's get busy with this. All right, now, I'm not trying to offend anyone. That's not my intention at all. I'm just keeping it real. That's what I do. All right. This video is about the black church. The black church and the black community. All right. I was looking at a video. This wild brother, General Seti, something like that. Seti. I think he's out of Detroit. One of the militant wing of the conscious community. Wild nigga. But I like that spirit, though, because he channeled in it in the right direction. But he made a point. What the hell is the black church doing for the community? Now, I'm in Gary. When you riding around Gary, Indiana, you see condemned blocks, you see abandoned houses. But it never ceased to amaze me that the black church is looking like monuments among ruins. I mean, the churches have enough money that they'll buy the lot next to them, which was a condemned home or whatever, and make a parking lot. Now, in every inner city, you got the liquor stores and you got the churches. They go hand in hand. The liquor stores and the church. But my problem with the black church is this. With all that money that these goddamn churches is making yearly, some churches is 125 years old. Some churches are even older. Some of the churches was the same church before the Civil War. Now, all churches, I'm not at all saying that all churches is on some bullshit, but most of them are, and let's keep it real with that. Let's keep it real. Now, with the annual income of the church, where's all them tithes going? Where's grandma's tithes going? You got churches that's out here kicking people out after 50 years. How in the hell can you pick somebody out that's been a loyal congregationist for 50 years before this preacher came in and before the board and everything else? The church is a business now. It was an institution of learning. But you can't tell me that all of these churches can pool their resources together and buy up blocks of these abandoned homes and refurbish them. Something's wrong with that picture, family. Something's very wrong with that picture. I get so sick and tired of you drive past the church and you see the parking space that's reserved for the pastor, the motherfucker in a brand new Benz, and the first lady is in a Jaguar. But then you got these small churches. Now, I don't have no problem with the very small churches, because they actually is, teaching the word, and you actually can get that spiritual counsel from the pastor of a small church. But them huge congregations, that shit, and I'm gonna keep it real with you, it's just a tool of white supremacy. We all know during slavery that the master would designate one house nigga to be the preacher, and he couldn't read. Some of them could, but he couldn't read. he was only allowed to read the part of the Bible that says you love your enemy, or turn the other cheek. You know, you steadily worshiping Jesus Christ in the Bible, but this motherfucker putting his foot up your ass. That's a sign of control, and that's the same thing the black churches is doing today. Ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Now, when I was a boy in them late 60s and early 70s, when we went to church, I have to admit, you know, it was fun going to church. You know, you had the Sunday school, and the churches was not only teaching, you know, the word of God, but they also was community leaders. They was the leader of the community. Let something break with them hunkies, all the churches would come together and address that issue. But you can barely get a preacher to come on the corner and talk to the D-boys. You can barely get a damn preacher to come in and talk to the damn homeless people that he feeding. He don't give a fuck. That's why you don't have a lot of strong men like myself and a lot of other strong men that don't want no part of that church. You know, and I'm not going to stop anyone from, you know, having, you know, hope. That's what it is hope. Faith and hope that things will get better. If you keep praying, you know, they say prayer changes things. If that was the case, we wouldn't been in bondage for 500 goddamn years. You know, just think about that, young people. Now, you know, I can't really address the older people that's older than me because, you know, they programmed. I ain't nowhere in the world I tell grandma all the information that you know, informative videos I look at, the books I've read. I wish I would tell her that blonde hair, blue-eyed motherfucker ain't real. She'd kick my ass. But it's just, it's very, very heartbreaking, family, to see a block that you grew up in or a neighborhood you grew up in that's just condemned and trees is growing out the roots, looking like life after people. But you look at the church that's still on that same corner. They steadily building. They steadily building. The old church that was there years ago when I was a boy, that's gone now. They put a bigger and better church. But then the community around you is crumbling. And see, why do you think, when I mentioned that the master would designate one of the slaves to preach the Bible and to love the master even if he harsh? Nate Parker, you know, there he a coon, he with a white girl, but that's an excellent movie. I'm not going to even talk about that. That's not what I'm talking about. But why don't you think you notice, young people, when Hillary, all the politicians, they come up in the church. That's the same shit they used to do when we was on the plantation, dancing and picking cotton on Sunday morning. You know, you got the house nigga that's keeping the slaves in line, but he also the preacher. You dig? And it's the same concept, and this is 2016. When of the last time have you seen all the churches come together as one to address the issue of racism? When? You'll get this old, what I call, chicken-eating motherfucker preacher that'll be standing behind Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump. They don't even represent us. And I'm telling you right now, half of these damn pastors do not represent the black community. The black community is on a totally different page. We not trying to pray. And a lot of us is very spiritual. I'm going to go to hell because I don't come to church. You got to be nuts. And a lot of young people, and even myself, they're not buying that shit. But where's all the money at? Where's the money? Where's all them tithes over the last 50 years? Where is it? You know, that's a good question we need to ask ourselves. And I don't know the name of that video, but you know, and I'm quite sure a lot of you know who I'm talking about. General Sarah Sin something. The last name is S-E-T-I. You know, one of them hardcore niggas. But he made a great, excellent point. You know, that the black church is robbing the black community, and we sitting up there letting them rob us. Well, not me, because I'm not giving them a dime. And you know, it's a shame, family, that I got to talk like that. And I'm not the only one that's feeling that way. I'm not the only one that's feeling that way. But if you like this video, subscribe. And I'll be coming out with a few more. I've been under the radar a little bit, just, you know, living my life, you know, in my environment, you know, doing what I do. And this is the real deal out of Gary, Indiana. GI, baby. Peace.